This is how a boutique branding agency in London tripled their project value by using YouTube as a portfolio. And if you have an agency or a business similar to this type, then watch to the end of the video and I'll show you how you can do it for your business. So I'm going to share my screen with you very, very quickly. And we are going to chop up and see how this agency did that. Okay. So I have moved myself over here. Let's get into it. So we've got Nakamura Studio, okay? And they're creative branding and design based in London, and they've got a team of 9 people, right? So Nakamura Studio did beautiful work, brand identities, packaging, digital design for mid-market consumer brands, right? But their portfolio site wasn't converting into business, which is what we're talking about. Clients couldn't tell the difference between Nakamura and any other agency with a clean website and a decent case study PDF. And the creative director, Yuki Nakamura, was landing £15,000 to £22,000 projects when she knew the work warranted 45 to 80K. So the problem wasn't quality, it was the perceived value. And pricing is always one of those tricky things that you really, really got to get right. Otherwise, if you don't, it will just lead to a lack of new business generated. Okay. So 3.4x average project value increased, £680,000 in new revenue in 12 months, and a 58% reduction in proposal rejections, which is good. 11 inbound leads per month, and before it was 3. So let's see what they did. Okay, first of all, and you see a pattern here. Once they got the information, got the strategy, they created a series called The Brief, right? Documenting the full creative process behind real client projects. And people love this behind the scenes type of content, right? They really love it when you get in the weeds of someone's business and show things, right? To show them what you're doing. And that was, of course, with the client permission. Of course, we need that. So strategy, concept development, iterations, final reveal, right? There's all of those different stages. And Yuki shared her thinking out loud on camera, okay? Not just the polished outcome, but the decisions, the creative arguments, the things that got scrapped and why. And this is great because when you see shows, I love architecture, okay? And when I see shows and they are showing the process of the house being built, and the architect saying, hey, we did this at first and then this didn't work and then we used this stone material and that didn't work, right? And the client's like, yeah, I wanted this at first and then I saw it and it just didn't look how I envisioned it. Like all of those little things are just details that viewers actually go crazy for. So when in this particular case study, when Yuki was showing the behind the scenes, right? They're showing like the process of how they actually do these projects, and that is what will start to attract people. Okay, they published a Rate My Brand series, another one, right? Reviewing real brand identities of well-known companies, demonstrating their taste and expertise without a single sales pitch. And you see, this is great for you as a business owner and a business person. If you're just showing things that you actually like, okay, that is kind of pertaining to what it is that you're offering. What you're doing there is just positioning your business from a standpoint where people are associating your taste with the thing that they actually need. So they're like, okay, well, this person seems to be quite knowledgeable of this sector and they've got great taste. I like their picks or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, maybe I'll check them out and see what they can do. Because if they can talk about another brand like that, I wonder what they'll do with their own. So this is very powerful when you start to showcase like the things you're interested in, your likes, your tastes, your preferences, okay? So they use YouTube as the first touch point in the sales process. Keep in mind here, I'm talking all about YouTube Enterprise, okay? And they used YouTube as the first touch point, not secondary, the first, right? New inquiries were sent a specific playlist before the discovery call. I think that's pretty cool. I think a brand like this or a company like this, rather than them saying, hey, let's jump on a call, right? They was like, no, we're going to send you a playlist of things that we like and, things that we've done so you can get a feel for us as a company, right? Get a feel for us as an agency. If it's a fit and you like the content, just like how I'm doing content here, I'm trying to reach other businesses. But I'm doing it in this way because this is better than me calling up a company and saying, hey, company, I have great software and we can help you with attribution. We can help you with finding out what's going on with your marketing, right? I can just say, watch my video. Send them an email, watch this video. If you liked it, then let's talk. That's a better pitch than pitching that way. So them doing this series, absolutely love that. Sending the playlist, brilliant. Okay. Now the results. The average project value before they started YouTube. This is the deep dive now. So lock in. £18,500. 12 months in, 62,000 was the average project value. From doing those series, really embedding the content with the prospect and giving the prospect some context of who they are, what they do, what they represent, their taste, all of that. Okay. Inbound inquiries per month was three, just three inquiries worth £18,500 average. 12 months in, went up to 11. So not crazy, 70-ish%, something like that. That's a big number because 11 times 62,000 is different to 3 times 18 and a half. That's a big difference in projected revenue, okay? Proposal acceptance rate before YouTube, no visibility, nobody really knew what they did, they couldn't really determine how good they were in comparison to others, right? 34%. 12 months in, skyrocketed to 71%. That is a really good acceptance rate, right? 7 out of 10 projects people are saying yes to, when before it was 3. Time spent on outbound, 12 hours per week before YouTube on outbound communication to 2 hours per week 12 months in. So you start to see how YouTube is starting to do all the heavy lifting, right? Retainer clients, 1 before YouTube, 6 12 months in. These are just phenomenal results, okay? So the breakthrough moment, right? It was a teardown video of a major supermarket's rebrand, attracted 52,000 views and was shared widely in brand and marketing communities on LinkedIn. So depending on what type of business you have, you could be commenting on maybe some brand new news that's happened in your sector. And of course, people on LinkedIn love to read, right? We love to write long text and paragraphs, okay? So doing a follow-up even on a write-up could work there. But specifically, they attracted a certain type of person into their atmosphere, if you will, which got them 52,000 views, which is not bad. Right? 3 agencies reached out about project collaboration. So people saw what they did and was like, hey, we'd actually want to work with you, alongside you, to do a project for somebody else. Okay. One became a £140,000 white label partnership, and the video took Yuki 4 hours to script, film on a Saturday morning. So 4 hours worth of work, scripted, film. And you might be thinking, look, Santino, I don't know how to script. Don't worry about that right now. Just don't worry about that. £140,000 white label partnership. That's big business, especially in this economy where, things sometimes are hard to come by, right? New business is hard to generate, but more businesses and enterprises are looking at YouTube as a way to build out their pipeline, if you will, of new business, because they can reach more people who are searching for these specific things, people who are looking at YouTube as a solution to their problems. That's how you have got to think. It's the biggest streaming platform, but people are searching for specific things to solve a specific problem. That's powerful. And when you combine that with these, social elements, when you combine it with these series that are really curated to, the prospect and who you're trying to target, they can have some real impact in your business, as you can see here. So on the bottom line here, right, Nakamura Studio tripled the average project value, added £680,000 in new revenue within the first 12 months of doing YouTube. YouTube replaced the agency's entire outbound sales efforts and positioned them in a completely different price bracket. Now, this case study here, you can look at and just think, all right, well, we've got an agency and we do X, Y, and Z services. And you got to be thinking now, like, where in our business are we missing a trick? Where are we behind the eight ball here, right? You know, a lot of businesses are starting to come to me and my business, and they're like, hey, look, we see this YouTube thing and we just need to crack it. Like, we don't know how. And that's why we want to get a demo of your software, because that's what I built as a creator and entrepreneur. I built software that was solving my own problems first. And I know from doing my research and being in certain spaces and being in this industry of software development, business entrepreneurship, I know that many businesses do not have the best tech stack. I worked with clients and seen it where they're doing, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and their tech stack is poor. And they probably are missing out on another four or $500,000 a month by having the better system. Okay. So when companies are explaining, like, this is where we're at, this is where we're trying to go, you've got to think now YouTube is a vehicle that you can use, and it's free to upload, by the way. There is no charge at the moment. As of recording this video, there is no charge to upload a video. So you can reach your desired target audience by leveraging these videos, which are mini assets that will be, generating returns, whether that's revenue, whether that's, leads, whether that's comments, engagement, which then lead to leads and bookings and demos, like whatever it may be. You can use YouTube in your enterprise and it can have some impactful results, as you saw with this one. And if you are an agency who essentially are looking for a way to leverage YouTube, or you're a company who's just, I guess, struggling trying to figure out how YouTube works in your particular workflow, then you can click the link in the description. Just book a call. We can demo this software to you. I call it first party. It's specifically built for YouTube enterprises, and I can walk you through it. We can talk about your particular situation and see how we can help. Sound fair enough? Okay, great. Well, thanks for watching the video, and see you on the next one. If you got any questions, hit me in the comments or send me a DM. Bye bye.